How you doing? Ralfy here, Ralfy Customs. Time for another thrilling instalment on our Gary's Z650. I had to think then, fuck me. Let's have a look. Fucking Banggood heater's still doing its thing. Takes the chill off first thing. Regular readers will have seen that we've got this far. We've done the cleaned up this, put a new extension on the top tube and replaced the gussets with something much more tasteful. What I plan to do next is sort these front rails out, bring these home and mount the petrol tank. I'm just waiting on Gary to get back about some details with this back end before we cut all this shit off and make it look a lot prettier. So this video we will be extending these through, well, chopping these off, like cleaning it all up, extending these through to here and mounting the Sportster tank, which might need a little bit of modification. So let's see what's what. Okay, here's the plan. We're going to tack a sprag across here to stop them from fucking moving when we cut these off, because they're going to get cut off. And if you're doing it on your kitchen table, you'd have the engine in, so that won't go anywhere. Like everything would be bolted up. You'd have a swing arm in or something like that. We ain't got that. And if you look at these, they're not round where they've been bent by Mr. Kawasaki back in the fucking late 70s, whenever it was. They're no longer round, so it makes joining a bit of a pain in the arse. But my plan is to take them off below this bracket, because there's no bend there, and all being well it will still be round. From there we can go up, we can put a slight kink or bend, we won't kink it, in the replacement tube and run it into there. That's what we're going to do. I need to drop the tank on first and put a mark where the tank's going to come, because I don't want to interfere with that. And also this is 1/8". Near as fuck it is to swear in, which is an odd size for me. I usually use inch, 1¼ inch, 1.5. But I've got a bit of 1/8 by as luck would have it. The HAS 125 into a GS 500 frame was 1/8, so I'll add some in for that line. So I'm going to tack a sprag across there, chop these off here somewhere. I'll have a measure, make sure they're in the same place so it's easy to duplicate, and then we will bend a little bit of tube, make some slugs just like we did with this, and get those in place. So here's the working out lot. We're tacked in, got a sprag tacked in. Don't have to be a box, it can be anything as long as it's strong enough. We have cleared that bracket, found a straight bit, and we've measured up off the table to get that height, and measured down from there to double check it both sides is near as fuck it is to swear in the same. We know the front's got plenty of room for the yokes. We're guessing actually the front's got plenty of room for the yokes. I don't want it too far back, so that's where it's going to sit. Now the problem is this bracket, look, this mount is not the standard mount. The standard mount, if I can fucking show you, I'm going to struggle. There you go, look at that. This is the standard mount, someone chopped it off. So because they come back and interfere, focus, and they bind on the top tube, because there's weld inside, they're sitting it, we're going to have them off. We're going to reinstate the standard mounts underneath, which will give us more clearance when it comes to running the tubes up, because they want to hit where that is and we don't want that. It's going to be tight, but it'll fit. So what I'll do off camera is move the tank out of the way, chop there, chop somewhere here, maybe there, don't matter, wherever I can get in easy with a cut-off disc, and then we'll look at what we need to go from there to there. Okay, because we never throw anything away here, we've got a couple of test pieces from a previous job in 1/8". So I'm going to use them. I'm going to fucking put them in there. I am going to put them in there. Something like that. Yeah, we're going to roll them forward very, very slightly. And we're going to, I'm not showing you very well, am I? They're going to, but fuck it. They're going to go in there, look. We'll lay them on. We'll do one first to make sure that we're not a mile out. And we have got a bit of steel to make another one if we fuck it up. Basically, we are going to put that in there. Like that. And it's just going to roll in a bit. Yeah. So, that is what we're going to do. Righto, look. I've chopped off the end and left it high. That it is. People often ask me how you work out how you're going to get that in. It's fucking difficult. What I do is have a guesstimate. Well, we have transcribed a line through there. I want that to roll slightly forward like that. Yeah, to clear the area for the seat rails and everything else. So that the seat rails can join there, no problem, if they were right there. We also need to miss that original tank bracket which is there, so we could probably go to there if we kept these rails below the top here so they don't foul the tank, and that gives us a line like that with that kicking out slightly, which is going to allow for it to be shaped to it, that tube, and roll in. Same with that, same with this end. I've cut that a little bit long. I do want a straight bit to get an insert in, but it's not going to be massive. It's going to be more than strong enough. So what I'll do is a test cut. I will literally cut that off where I've marked it with a cut-off disc, and then offer it up, see what's wrong with it, and adjust it to suit.
Don't forget, folks, our Fuck Stock stickers are now available in our Etsy store, link in the description below. Fuck Stock, you know it makes sense.
Okie fucking dokie, look, here's where we're at. Focus, you fuck. We have got that trimmed off a bit because I needed more wiggle room, and that sitting about like that. Now, we can't get it perfect at this stage because we need a slug-a-dug-a-doo-dah, so we'll make a couple of slugs to slide this on there like that, and then we can trim up the end if needs be. We do want a little bit of a gap, foot weld and shit, so we're looking pretty fucking good, to be fair. Let's get the slugs turned up. I'll turn two up and then I will demonstrate with one what this is, and if all goes well we can drop that on there and copy it, can't we? However it's going to be. Right, pot pickers, what we've got here is some of my super duper heavy duty frame tube. I'll show you when I've turned it. I'm just going to take the skim off it. I'm going to give it a nice little clean up, just like that, all the way down to near the chuck. We don't have to be super accurate with the length, we just want enough for a good bit of support. And we also want to make sure, look, let's have that out of the way, that it fits in there. Tickety fucking boo. And it is a little bit loose, so I will take slightly less of a cut. More on them. We're looking at 24.5, so I'm going to go 24.7. And we'll wax that all the way down there, and we'll make sure that it fits the tube, and we will chamfer each end. Well, we'll chamfer one end, part it off, flip it around, chamfer the other end. Job's a fish. So the fucking machine's lovely. This CDS 360 is the old school grade. Quadron seamless hydraulic tube. You don't need seamless tube to make frames, despite what the experts will tell you. There's more than enough strength in seamed, as long as it's the right grade of steel. So yeah, look at that, fucking happy days. So we will just come in quick. I don't know why I'm rushing. I don't want this segment to be too long. Bastard. Sack the juggler. Right, here we go. Good chamfer. Like that. I'll just check that in for burrs, because we don't want to hurt ourselves while we're fucking about with it, do we? And then off camera I will switch out to my parting blade or farting tool, move dependent, and we'll come in here nice and close up to the chuck, and we'll just feed by hand. Look at the colour of them coming off. That is fucking gorgeous, ain't it? Right, see if it's going to burn me. Not yet. Yeah, it is. It's fucking hot. That's quite hot. Okay, so out of that, oh, we're only just enough, weren't they? In with this bastard. That's hot. Just caught myself on the drill bit that's in the fucking tailstock. Bad practice, that is. Don't leave your tailstock with nothing in it, but don't leave a big fuck off drill bit in there that's going to catch you. So, man down. Go the alley back. Right, up with that burr, thanks. Yeah. Out with this tool. In with this tool. That's bleeding. That is actually bleeding, that cut on my hand. Bleeding now. Chamfer man. And a deburr. Like so. So, we can now, need to make another one. I'm not going to show you that. We can, out bastard, we can now tap that into the existing and try our bit properly. Righto, we can see, look, we're fouling right on that point. If we lift it up, it clunks. We're going to take that piece out, that'll allow it to swing round, which will lower it down, and we may well end up with a healthy gap there, which is absolutely fucking tickety-boo. So what I'll do is mark up where that's touching and remove that, and then it will spin round and we'll see where we're at. Just like that. Just like that. Sorry, my voice is going. They're fucking ill in the homestead. It's like a plague house. Lizzie's fucking a bit flued up. Now Josh has got a chest infection and really bad tonsillitis, bless him. So I've escaped it so far. I'm just a bit crook, but they're fucked up bad. But I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny, is it? Anyway, that's that. Yeah, one in. That is the easy bit. The other... The tricky bit's matching this one up to the other fucking side. I did trim this back, and there is a nice gap there for the weld, and I did mark this side at the same trim off. So I will probably, I can make the replacement one, I can make this one shorter, that one shorter by, I can't remember what that was, 34 mil or something. Excuse me. And have staggered joints, which ain't going to matter a fuck like. By the time it's welded and cleaned up, you'll not know. Or I can trim that off and then use this one as a Simon template to mark that one up, although it will have to be the other hand. So let's get it out, look. So when we lay it on, which I'm going to struggle to do one-handed, wherever that comes, we can just, what I do is just cut the length. I don't shape it. I've got the length both, so I know they're about the same, and then shape it, because it needs to go the other way. It needs to be that way on the chamferage, don't it? On the coping, it needs to be coped the other way, and we all need a little bit of help coping sometimes, don't we? Okay, fucking doke, excuse me. There we go. That's those two. Those two rails jolly well in position. So they will be welded here and here. I just wanted to say that. Next up on the agenda is going to be the tank mounts. Not sure about the seat thing. I've spoke to our Gary. Everything's cool. We just need to drop them a couple of inches, so they need to sit here. So we're going to droop them. We're going to do a droopy drawers or something. Not quite sure. Roll them out a bit. Probably take them from here. You know, might take them from here. Don't know yet. We ain't got that far. We will get the tank on first, so we need to alter that slightly, don't we? If you remember, the rear mount's been bastardised. It's a good word, isn't it? Just wanted to say that as well. So we want to put it here, not here. I don't think it'll fit. I'm going to try it on, and I reckon that these will clout, and we couldn't really drop them back anymore because we're getting close to the edge. We're close to the edit. Heart of Noise fans, I bet there's nobody out there knows what I'm fucking talking about. Right, here's where we're at, look. the yoke, this is where it will sit if I don't do them rear mounts, because I'm right on the weld there, and it'd have to go up a bit or forward a bit or something, and there's already a bit of a gap. That's not bad. I want a gap. The problem's the front. I've been and looked at mine, and the top yoke comes back. This is how fucking precise we're being. Look, don't be put off. Comes back about the thickness of my finger, and it starts about 2 fingers high. I can get 2 fingers underneath it, so it's up there, and it's quite close. Yeah, 2 fingers, not 4, not the full Joan Collins. I bet nobody remembers that. So I think we're going to have to alter it. I want to lift it slightly, like that, yeah. And I want it to come back a bit to this mark that I made earlier. I want this to be at least there, maybe back a little bit further. So these are going to have to go, and the standard mounts are going to have to be reinstalled. Yeah, we'll have the cap off and have a look, because welding petrol tanks, second-hand petrol tanks that have had petrol in, can be a bit fucking precarious. Right, the good news is it's drier than a baker's fart in there. It don't even smell of petrol. How's that for bad fucking filming? I've had my nose over it and there's nothing. It smells like rusty metal. And it ain't even that rusty. I don't know where you can see in there, but I've had my eyes in best I can. I've got a camera on a stick at home that you shove in your ear hole because I'm fucking going deaf. So I think we're fine to do what we've got to do. We're not actually going to break through the skin. We're not welding on the tank. Look, what we're doing is... here's them standard mounts. Here's them standard mounts that would have had a loop for a rubber, if I recall correctly, and someone has welded quite nicely actually these brackets on there. So I'm going to cut them off because I don't care. I'm going to sand that smooth, even, get it flat, and then we're going to reinstall some bits of 1/8 plate or whatever size it needs to be with a hole in, ready to take a through bolt. So we'll have a through bolt front and back, and we can move it back slightly on the frame so it misses all the gubbins around the headstock. Righto, I've got a couple of ex-wives that will be disappointed to know I'm still here. That went without incident, really. It's fucking gnarly though. Well, some big vehicles just rolled by on the main road. I'm thinking these patented, they're not. Ralfy Josh brackets. And I've dummied it up on frame, and they're a little bit long. I think I might make some a little bit shorter. They're, I can't remember, 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. Fucking hell, Ralph, why don't you know this? You've been making them for fucking 40 years. 1.25 inches. Not 40 years, 30 years. I might make some inch by inch with it, hole in, and the radius, and weld them where that were welded. The problem is that it is fucking still gnarly. I can't really get in, to clean the paint off, and I'm not sure how good that would be. I'm thinking of planting them on there like so, but again, if you look at the standard looper-de-looper there, there's a big gap there, look, gig baps. I know, and I'm only 13, and no gap there, so this ain't in the middle. We don't want that. So this ain't in the middle quite, and so not sure. I might take that down a bit with the die grinder. I can't get in with the sander. Might not. Might just literally put the tank on the frame and go there, or run a straight edge down the tunnel. That would be the one, you dickhead. Straight edge down the tunnel, put a marker pen line and fit them on there. Same distance from the end. Like so. So I'll make a couple of these a bit shorter. I don't want to cut these up because they are quite useful as they are, and I'd only have to make some to replace it anyway. A quick digress. Look, you didn't see me do this for Mr. Clint for his little seat unit thing. You may have seen the review for the big Banggood H calorie, which is heater calorie. They informed me. That's where the name comes from, for the old toolbox heater, which I need to sort the exhaust out a bit better, but there's no carbon monoxide coming in here. I've got 2 monitors. It's all good. They sent me another one. A different person from Banggood sent me a different H calorie heater, little dude, although it's not that little. It's just smaller than that toolbox one. So we've had a bit of a reshuffle. I used to have a toolbox here with my milling cutters and all that stuff like. I've moved that over there, and we now have a heater there blowing into the lathe and milling machine area, and a heater there blowing into everywhere else. I could do with sorting them a bit more permanently, but so far there's no fumes, there's no smoke. They're fucking great, honestly. I'm a bit impressed. People have been saying, bless you, lots of you have said for a few years now, look at them cheap Chinese diesel eaters, and I've not. I think the timing must be right. The stars have aligned and the technology has improved a bit, and they're far more suitable than a proper, what we would call a night eater that you used to get in lorries. They are far more suitable. They're both the same output, 8 kilowatts, but that little one definitely burns hotter than this one. I've had them both going this morning just to see what's what. I will do a review. I've done that review. I will do a review on this little one. It is very much the same as its big brother. Excuse me. Functionality is the same. It works the same. Just a few of the controls are different. It's got its own separate air intake, which I'm sure people in the comments will advise me I need to do something else with other than have it there. I might just tape it to the side so it sticks up like a fucking, what's it called? Snorkel. Might gaffer tape it to the side like a snorkel. And I also thought I might put a lid over that, put a board over it or something, because of the chips off the milling machine. I don't want to shower it in metal. You can see it all over the floor, look, because I'm a scruffy cunt. I did use the magnet to pick up all the ferrous before I sighted it, but I didn't sweep out properly because I'm a bit under the fucking weather. That said, it's just an unplug and move job. Look, it's got an handle on top and everything. I could just pick it up and fuck off with it and then clean round properly. I could make a little kennel for it, couldn't I? A little shed or something, if it could be arsed. Right, and actually back to fucking work. I've got two options for these brackets, and I've marked and centre dotted the slimmer version that can go there. I'm just a little undecided. I mean, they're a little slimmer than the standards. Yeah, the little ones, and they're about the same. So I am probably going to go for the bigger ones. These are 25 by 25. And I have marked that line through. I put a straight edge, a long rule down here, and mark that line through. So I can place those there and weld them. What I'll do is drill them, shape them, and then get one on and probably put a long bolt through, try and eyeball them up. It's tricky because there's no real date on them. I mean, I can measure off the back of the tank here, but they're not exactly the same. That seam sticks out more than that one, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be a little bit of a guessing game. The only other way I could do it would be to make a proper loop like this should have been and make it fit properly and grind this out. And you don't need that. That's too much. That is overkill. Two of those like that with the hole in and shaped nicely on the end with my file guides, which are these jobbies. Look, they have a bolt in and they bolt to the bracket or squeeze them up in the vise, and you use that to guide yourself to get a lovely shape. It's like doing a curve on the rotary table of the mill without using the rotary table or the mill. It's a lot quicker and cleaner when it's a bracket, when it ain't got to be thousandths of an inch accurate like. Okay, well, go on baby, quick centre drill. This little old Sealy pillar drill has done me proud over the years. But as you've just seen, it lacks the torque. There we go. It lacks the torque to start at high speed. Fucking hell, that's tight. We've put that in there. So sometimes you have to give it a little nudge, like I've just done. So we'll get them both fucking. There we go. Get a bad centre drill. Straighten up and do it properly. Now we're over to the mighty Meddins, where we're going to drill them out to 8.5 mil. If you turn the chuck, I told you I'm fucking a bit under the weather. If turn the chuck the right way, that would help, wouldn't it? So let's fucking lube up the hole, as you do. Try and keep out of your road, which is bump through there, look, so we don't get long fucking Shirley Temple pushing me up more. Got a few cuts and grazes at the minute. Such is the joy of metal, like the joy of painting. We have some happy little tubes. There we go. Same with this one. Little drop of looby-dooby. Little drop goes a long way. Just a dab will do. And then bump that through. I'll switch that out to the chamfer tool and just touch both sides, just clean it up, and then we'll go over to the bench vise, get the sander on the job and give them a profile up. Right there, so with those holes drilled, look, we use 25mm, which is the same size as that. It's got M10 hole in it, but we've only got 8.5mm bolt holes, haven't we? So what we do, we drop an M8 bolt through the job, we bolt one on, if I can. I don't know if there's not all spin on all the way, because the bolt lives on the bench, it gets covered in shit. Oh yeah. And now, if you can see, we can take these fucking corners off and shape it accordingly. So what we do is even it all up, looks about right, and then clamp the bastard in there like that, and hit it with the sander. Mind your ears, to do with the new pad Ralfy. So we work our way around that round stop until we get the shape that we desire. Like so. And we just follow it to get the shape that we need. They do wear out, obviously, because they get hit by the sander, don't they? But there you go, that will give it, like you can see half of it there, that gives it half the shape in fucking no time. I've got a few different sizes for the few different brackets I use. So we have a bit of versatility. I'll lean on this one a bit more because I'm getting impatient, as I'm sure you are. There we go. Put that down. And that is fucking red hot. Ow. But it gives us a shape. Nice and quick. We'll give it a quick deburr, do the other one, and then we'll have two nice shapely little brackets to weld on the tank. Righto. There they are, look. They're still hot. Oh, that one's not too hot. What's that one like? Oh, not too hot. So now they are going to sit on there. Something like that. Right on that fucking line. And then we can offer it up, measure the gap here, offer it up, see where the bit's going to go on the frame. We're going to end up running a tube or a bit of solid into this probably with the threading, same with this end. We're going to have something in here that goes through there, through them plates with the thread each end. I don't think there's room for two separates, one each end on either of them. I think it needs to be a bit of something. So let's get these brackets tacked on off camera. I won't make you watch me struggle to get these fucking right, but I'll show you how I've done it when I've done it. There you fucking go. That was difficult because I couldn't get in properly to clean it up properly, but we did all right. We've got some good weldage on, and it's fucking nicely blue, so we won't be touching them. Oh, click my finger in, give it a dab. Yeah, look, nice dry spot. So what we're going to do now is measure this and work out how long the piece we need for the rear mount, and measure that and work out how long the piece we need for the front mount. Now I need to think whether or not we're going to use we're going to machine something that takes a bolt both sides, you know, a threaded bit in the middle, so you put a bolt in from each end, or whether we're just going to run a bit of tube and you have a nice long bolt, which is how Mr. Harley and Mr. Davidson do it. I'm tempted for the threaded. I am. I'm going to drop it on the bike and see where it comes to see whether it's suitable. Righto, jig up time because I'm on my own, because our Josh is off bad. It's like fucking the end of days in our house. we've got little packers underneath, those brackets that I never ended up using, just to lift the tank off the top tube enough. Look, you can see that one quite clearly. And we've got a clamp holding one on so the tank don't fuck off down the top tube, don't slide away. Then what we do is level this up, put a spirit level on it, or the angle finder, because the bench is set dead level, which is always good. Top tip reference: if you're using a bench like me, set it fucking level. Then you've always got a level, and sometimes you need a level. So we can look where that comes, look, and I think that that is going to be prime for a bit of through and through action. I will mark through with a long tipped marker pen, yeah, and find the centre of that. It might, but depending on the size of the whatever I end up fucking making, it might come right close to breaking through, which is not a good thing. We don't really want that, although it will all be welded in solid, so it should not go anywhere. And then we'll do the same with this. We're also going to have to address this munted fucking slotted holes. I might weld a big washer on with a nice 8mm hole. Excuse me. And if I do, I'll keep it to the front because we're running out. Look, you can see a bit of finger poking through. Look, the gusset. So my dad's nickname's Gus, by the way. Bless him. If you're watching, Dad, love you lots. Yeah, so we're going to fix that up, probably. Or have a guess. Or don't fucking know. But I think that is going to work just fucking peachy. Right, look, so we've marked through. Look, see that circle? We marked through and centre dotted it. We did the same with the front. We put a repair washer. Oh, fucking hell, I'm not prepared with the repaired. So we put a repair washer on the bracket and marked through, focus. And they're going to be welded, I reckon, and cleaned up and sorted, because them holes are shit, aren't they? And then we had a measure down from that centre. I'm not showing you very well. We had a measure down from that centre mark to see how big we could go, and I reckon 16mm is going to be well safe. So we're going to go 16mm, and we're going to hole saw through it. And look what I have it, look. Due to an admin error by me, we have quite the selection of 16mm hole saws. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking brand new ones there, and a few fucking old ones, so we're not short of tooling to get that job done. Right, so we've got a bit of 16mm stock, not the best finish, excuse me, not the best finish in the world on this, but it's just going to be welded into frame, so it will be more than good enough. What I will do before we get going is, see, I've covered my bedways up. We'll get that black off the end, just the ends, because as I say, it's going to be well welded in. They're only going to be a little bit poking out with a weld on, so we don't need to go fucking nuts. There we go. Do it with a bit of dick. That's probably an old dick. Fucking hell, behave yourself. Right. That will be more than fucking good enough. We'll spin it round and do the same with this end. And then we're going to face it, drill it, tap it, and all that good stuff. So there you go. Always cover your bedways up. It's going to be one of them videos, isn't it? Always cover your bedways up. I am noticing a trend in the last couple of videos where I'm talking even more shit than usual, if that's fucking even possible. And I'm dragging it out a bit. I'm not dragging it out. I'm showing you more of the mundane, if you like. Because I wouldn't normally fucking, I'd just recap. I'll put that in now, cleaned it up, now we're going to machine it, and you'd see it being machined. But that's not the reality of it, is it? You know, many years ago, I ran a tattoo studio in the local town for over 10 years, 13 years, 14 years, something I can't remember. And this is like going back 10 years before they were everywhere, like fucking Turkish barbers and vape shops. And we had a guy come in once asking about having some work done. And when we told him our hourly rate, I think he was a little bit taken aback. I can't even remember what it was. It weren't extortionate. It was probably 50 quid an hour or something, which is like quite a bit less than you will pay nowadays. I charge more than that in my fucking studio still. And his response, should I say, just squaring that up with a 1, 2, 3 block. His response was, I hope you work quick. And I'm thinking, it's a fucking tattoo, you dickhead, it's there forever. You don't want me rushing it, much like what I do here. And I said something like, no mate, we don't work fast. What we do, work fucking thorough. Right, let's get this face to length. I can't remember which one this is. It'll either be 57mm or 53.5mm. So what I'll do is take a little skim off just to face it up, like so. And then break that edge so it looks like we care. Then I'll spin it around off camera. I do stuff off camera, it's not the fucking Truman Show, which I've never seen. Spin it around off camera, face this end up, do the same and have a measure, and then we'll take it down to length. Right, this is the last facing cut on the second one. This takes it to 57mm in length. Let's just fucking break that edge like so. So we've got two of these bad boys, one short one for the back. I thought the back would be wider than the front somehow, don't I? But they're not. And one larger one to the front. So now we can get on Jordan top. So we're in with the centre drill, drop a lube, lock my tail stop. Fucking helicopter, I don't know if you can hear it. There's a big fucking helicopter just flying over. I could feel it, it's hurting my ears. Even my fucking cloth ears. So in we go. Can you hear it? Oh, here we go with the fucking centre drill. And now we're in with a 6.8mm. And we want to go about 30 deep or a bit over 35, 40 even, don't really matter. We will be drilling all the way through, but we don't need to do that at this stage, like. So we'll get that settled. We will withdraw our tool, and there's a little mark on the tailstock coil. Not a little mark, there's graduations. So we put that to 10, line that up with the end of the job, lube her up, and we just take 10 off what we're reading, and we want to see about 50, which will give us 40 deep. So I will take this down accordingly. Before coming in with the chamfer with the chamfer tool, giving myself a start to thread before slowing everything down and coming in with a nice spiral machine tap. So we're not all the way through, so we don't need to go fucking mental with this. We don't want to bottom it out and spin it in the collet, damage the collet, or fucking worse still, snap it off. We're just going to go until all the threads go and a little bit more, and that'll call it fucking, we'll call that done. Reverse everything, speed it back up, ride the clutch a bit, so we don't want to bounce that around in the end of the hole when it exits. And that is one end of one done. Let me get it out of the fucking chuck. That's one end of one done. So we'll pop that round the other way and repeat the process, and then do the other one, and we're good. Right, that's them made, look. Excuse me. We have one for the rear, innit? One for the front. Two in the pink, one in the stink. There you go. So now we're going to use a jolly old hole saw, which I might do off camera because it's never fucking pretty, and the power of DeWalt to drill through the frame tube just here and the gussets, and then we can set them tubes in, we can weld them, and the tank will be fucking mounted, peeps. Righto, so we have drilled, well, all the way through both sides, fuck me, both ends, and now we're just going to tap them in. But I can't guide it because I'm holding the fucking camera like a bell end. I'm not holding the camera like it's a bell end, shut up. I ought to do the fucking plumber dude, innit? I might have to go through from the other side or guide it better, put more of a chamfer on it, because it is incredibly difficult to get these to line up properly. It needs a little bit at the bottom. It needs a little bit out of the bottom, just there, I think. What's that one like? Oh, it's not the right piece I'm putting in, but that one's a lot fucking better. So I will clean the bottom of that hole up a little bit, get that through, and I won't measure it equal both sides because as we know, the tunnel on the tank is not quite equal both sides. So I'll mount the tank, mount the tank and then tack that from underneath when it's all in position. Oakley, fucking Oakley. I struggled really hard not to fucking start this segment with walking on the moon, because giant steps are what we take. So we've opened out this side, we've slotted slightly the holes on both sides here because we weren't totally in alignment and we need to level it up. So what we're going to do now is check this gap, both sides. Sorry, not showing you very well. Check that gap, look, that floats. We can move that, obviously, because it's not welded. So we'll put a packer in or use a little finger test. What do you mean it was a little finger test? Did you feel it? You fucking feel it. There's a lot of engineering is about feel, you know. So put that in, that's just loose. What's this one like? A bit looser. Try it with your finger. So put your finger in against that plate or against wherever. Find a nice spot. Oh yeah, get a feel for that. And then switch sides and do it there. I'm not showing it very well. So the best thing I have seen for this kind of thing, because these tanks are not great when it comes to accurate measurements, because a petrol tank, not a fucking disc spacer or something, is eyeball it, mate. That looks good to me. Let's come round here and have a look. How does it look on the fucking wonk? Looks good to me. And how does that gap look at the back? This gap, remember that the tunnel's a bit off and blah blah blah. Them spacers look like they're sticking out about the same, and that gap looks fucking great. So I'll get a couple of tacks on, and there you have it. Look, 4 splashes, 2 at the front and 2 underneath. It's focus, fucking, it's dark, you can't really see it, but there's a weld there. I won't touch it because it's red hot, unlike me. So that is top tube, gussets, back rails, call them whatever you like, cradle, back of the cradle there, excuse me, and the tank mounted. Next on the agenda will be these seat rails and decluttering all this shit. We need the shocker mounts to say where they're at, but we want these lower than they are, and then we're going to mount a mudguard and make side panels and lots of other fun stuff. Yeah, sorted. So there you go, folks. That is another thrilling instalment on our Gary's Z650. Very inspiring when it comes to my own that's popped on top of the shop. It just leaves me, as always, to say thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Give me a like, give me a sub, consider joining. It makes a massive difference. It really does motivate me to keep making these videos. If nobody interacted or watched, I wouldn't fucking do it, would I? Yeah? Check out all the bump in the description below. There's some good links there, and the merchandise is there and all that good stuff. And I will catch you on the next one. Have a great one, everyone. Big love.